There are moments when the weight we carry is not from our own choices. It is shaped by disappointments, outcomes we couldn't prevent, and people we could never mold, and yet we hold on because the heart is stubborn. We hold on because hope is gentle but persistent. We hold on because we believe that if we give enough, bend enough, wait long enough, something will shift. But I want to begin today by telling you a truth that many learn too late. You cannot change what was never yours to control. Stay with me, because this truth has the power to free you, rebuild you, and return you to yourself. There are storms in life that were never sent for you to calm, only to walk through. There are people who were never meant to stay, only to teach. And there are seasons that were never meant to last, only to shape you into the wiser, braver, softer-hearted person you are becoming. You may not see it today, but every chapter that felt heavy was preparing you to stand taller. Letting go is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign of maturity. It is the quiet understanding that your energy is precious and your peace priceless. Learn to release what refuses to change. Loosen your grip on what harms you. Surrender battles that were never meant for you. Because life is not asking you to carry everything. It is asking you to carry yourself. When you let go of what you cannot change, something miraculous happens. You make room for what was meant for you. You open the door to healing. You open the door to clarity. You open the door to strength that had been waiting inside you. You stop begging for closure from those who never understood your depth. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into small places where your spirit no longer breathes. You stop chasing people who treat you like an option and start choosing yourself, not out of arrogance, but out of necessity. Letting go is not about forgetting. It is about accepting that your life cannot grow where it is constantly being drained. You deserve to wake up without dread. You deserve to love without losing yourself. You deserve a life where peace is not something you visit, but live in. Release the story you keep replaying, the one where things could have been different if you tried harder. Release the guilt that was never yours. Release the people who cannot meet you where your soul is rising. There is strength in surrender, grace in acceptance, beauty in turning away from what dims your light. When you finally let go of what you cannot change, you will feel something powerful, a quiet, steady courage rising inside you. You were never meant to break. You were meant to rise again. Like dawn, there comes a moment in life when the truth sits quietly at your door, waiting for you to finally open it. And that truth is simple, but we resist it. You cannot change what was never within your control. You cannot bend the past. You cannot force people to become who you hoped they would be. You cannot rewrite the choices someone else made. You cannot hold on to things that were never meant for your hands. But we try. We stretch ourselves thin, attempting to fix what was never ours to heal. We pour our energy into convincing, proving, pleading, wanting, wishing, waiting. We tell ourselves that if we give a little more, maybe the situation will shift. If we show our loyalty, maybe someone will stay. If we soften our voice, maybe someone will listen. If we sacrifice enough, maybe life will reward us with the outcome we dreamed of. But life does not respond to control. Life responds to acceptance. Life responds to courage. Life responds to the quiet decision to release what drains you and embrace what grows you. You cannot change what was never within your control. The sooner you understand this, not just with your mind, but with your heart, the freer you become. Peace arrives the moment you stop wrestling with what is immovable. Strength rises when you stop giving your power to things that refuse to change. Clarity opens when you admit not everything is your burden to carry. Some of the heaviest weights in your life are the ones you picked up unintentionally. You carried someone's approval like a shield, believing it would protect you. You carried someone's expectations like a map, believing it would guide you. You carried someone's love like a promise, even when that love was inconsistent, painful, or absent. None of those things were ever in your control. You could not control how they loved, how they saw you. You could only control how you showed up with sincerity, effort, hope, and that was enough. Yet we blame ourselves. We replay moments again and again, imagining what we could have said differently, done differently, been differently. But that is the trap, believing your worth or choices could have shaped another person's heart. People act according to who they are, not according to what you deserve. You forget life unfolds according to its own rhythm, not your fear or desire. You cannot change what was never within your control. Let this truth rest inside you like a steady breath. Let it soften the tightness in your chest. Let it ease the regret you've been carrying. Let it remind you that you were never meant to rewrite the past, only to learn from it. People did not show up for you, not because you were unworthy, but because they were unready. Doors closed on you, not because you lacked potential, but because that path did not belong to your future. There were situations that crumbled no matter how hard you tried to save them, not because you failed, but because they were not meant to survive. You cannot change what was never within your control, and that includes time, loss, fate, and the choices of others. But here is the quiet victory hidden inside this truth, holding on tightly. There is bravery in letting go, courage in accepting reality. There is wisdom in saying, "This is not mine to fix," and freedom in walking away from things you tried to carry. You were not created to control every outcome, shape every heart. You were not created to solve every conflict or to be the one who makes everything right. You were created to live, learn, grow, fall, rise again, and trust that the path before you will meet you where you are meant to be. Release your grip. Release the past. Release the expectations. Release the people who drain you. Release the desire to predict the future. Release the need to be perfect, to be pleasing, to be everything for everyone. You cannot change what was never within your control. Not in forcing the world to bend to you, but shaping yourself into someone who rises, even when the world does not. There is a strength in accepting limits. There is a deeper strength in embracing possibilities. And between those truths, you will find freedom. Letting go is not weakness. It is growth, clarity, and emotional maturity. Many people fear letting go because they think it means giving up. They think it means surrendering their strength or abandoning something they should have fought for. But letting go is not a quitting, it is understanding. It is the realization that not everything is meant to stay, not every connection is meant to continue, and not every chapter is meant to be rewritten. There is a wisdom that forms when you loosen your grip on things that no longer serve you. Growth does not always happen in the places you remain. Growth begins the moment you walk away from what is hurting you. It begins when you stop giving your energy to situations that drain your spirit. It begins when you stop tying your worth to things that do not value you. Letting go is proof that your heart is stronger than you believed. You are choosing to save your own spirit before you drown in the weight of holding on too tightly. There are moments in life when holding on keeps you stuck. You replay conversations that can't be changed. Cling to memories that no longer reflect your reality. You wait for people to become someone they consistently show you. You try to fit yourself into spaces that no longer welcome you. Every time you hold on to something fading, you lose a bit of yourself. Letting go is the moment you stop losing yourself. You do not have to force connections, pretend to be unhurt, or hide your truth. You do not have to beg for effort, attention, or honesty. True clarity arrives when you accept what is, instead of clinging to what you wish could be. Acceptance is the foundation of emotional maturity. It means you can look at life with open eyes, unclouded by denial or fear. Admit when something is not working. Recognize when a door has closed. Acknowledge when a chapter has ended. You can stand in the truth without shrinking, without resisting, without trying to force it into a different shape. Create space. Space for healing, space for new possibilities, space for the version of yourself waiting underneath all the weight. When you release what's been holding you down, you rise. Maybe not immediately, maybe not without pain, but certainly, because release is the beginning of renewal, and renewal is a slow, steady unfolding. It happens when you see yourself clearly, not as abandoned, but as someone who chose to move forward with dignity. Letting go is a declaration. It says, I trust myself. I deserve better. I choose peace. I will not stay where my soul is shrinking. My life is allowed to change. Too often we treat letting go as a punishment, a sign that we failed, that we were not enough, that we didn't try hard enough. But letting go is not failure. It is transformation. It is awareness. It is emotional elevation. It is the moment you rise above the illusion that clinging will save you. Letting go teaches you that endings are not punishments. They are invitations. Invitations to rebuild your life with intention. Invitations to rediscover who you are without the weight of old pain. Invitations to welcome new beginnings that align with the person you're becoming. In time, you will see that letting go was not the moment you lost something. It was the moment you returned to yourself. That return is the truest form of growth, the deepest clarity, and the highest expression of emotional maturity. Not every storm is meant to be calmed. Some are meant to be walked through. Life has a way of placing us in moments that shake the ground beneath our feet, where the sky darkens, the winds rise, and everything we thought we understood becomes uncertain. Our first instinct is always the same. We want to fix it, control it, silence it, calm it, stop it. Storms have purpose. Every storm that has shaken your life carried a message, a lesson, a shift in direction. Some storms arrive to remove what you had no strength to release. Some storms prepare you for the path ahead. Some storms remind you that you are far stronger than you ever imagined. Some storms push you out of places where you were only surviving. We believe peace means avoiding storms, but peace is learning how to move through them without losing yourself. It is understanding that discomfort is not always destruction. Sometimes discomfort is birth, the beginning of becoming someone you never thought you could be. Walking through a storm is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of courage. Anyone can stand in sunshine. Anyone can smile when the skies are clear. But it takes strength to stand in the rain with trembling hands and a steady heart. It takes faith to keep moving when the path is muddy and the winds push you backward. It takes resilience to see darkness and still whisper, I am not done. I am not defeated. When you walk through a storm, something powerful happens inside you. Discover parts of yourself you never knew existed. You find patience, endurance you didn't think you were capable of. You find wisdom hidden beneath the fear. You find a voice that refuses to be silenced. Your spirit, even when shaken, does not break as easily as you once believed. Some storms are not meant to be calmed because you would miss the growth that happens when you walk through them. You would miss the strength from facing what you once ran from. You would miss the transformation that happens when everything familiar is stripped away. Storms reveal your truth, not the image you show to the world, but who you truly are. Every storm changes something. Sometimes it changes your direction, relationships, priorities. But most of all, it changes you. It stretches your heart, deepens your compassion, and expands your understanding. It teaches you what matters, who deserves a place in your life, and who belongs outside your peace. It teaches you how to love yourself better, protect your energy, walk away from what hurts, and rebuild what was broken. Some storms don't disappear quickly. They linger. They test you. They ask you to keep walking even when you feel exhausted. You keep going because something inside you refuses to be defeated by difficulty. You were created to move, rise, endure, and emerge. The storms you walk through become chapters you look back on and say, "That is where I grew, learned, became." They become reasons you can speak with wisdom, love with depth, stand with confidence. They become the foundation of your strength. Some storms are not meant to be calmed because they are cleansing you, washing away old versions of yourself, washing away doubt, parts of your life quietly harming you. Sometimes what you thought was breaking you was freeing you. Yes, storms hurt. They shake you, demand patience, courage, trust. They require you to let go of familiar comforts and walk into the unknown. The unknown is where transformation lives, where change happens. It is where you step into the person you were becoming. There will be moments when you beg for the storm to stop, tired of fighting, hoping, trying. But remember, no storm lasts forever. Even the darkest nights surrender to morning. The hardest rains soften. The loudest winds grow quiet. The storm will not last, but you will. Not every storm is meant to be calmed. Some are meant to be walked through to see who you become on the other side. You discover your strength, resilience, courage, clarity, purpose. You are meant to rise from the storm not as the same person, but as someone wiser, deeper, and more powerful. And long after the storm has passed, you will realize that what you feared most shaped you the most. The storm did not destroy you, it revealed you. It carved away everything that was holding you back and left you standing in your truth. It did not come to defeat you, it came to prepare you. You walked through it, step by step, and you grew even when it hurt. Release people and situations that drain your peace or diminish your worth. There comes a time in your journey when you must ask yourself, who am I becoming by staying here? The places you remain shape you as much as the places you walk away from. Sometimes the bravest act of self-love is choosing to step back from anything that steals your peace or shrinks your spirit. People will take from you without realizing it, your time, energy, patience, joy. Some drain you quietly with their inconsistency, carelessness, absence disguised as presence. Others drain you loudly with their demands, complaints, chaos, constant expectations. Situations, environments, conversations, routines leave you feeling smaller. You cannot grow where you are diminished. You cannot shine where your light is ignored. You cannot heal in places that keep reopening the same wounds. It means giving yourself permission to walk away from what hurts. Your peace is not a luxury, it is a necessity. When your peace is disturbed, your judgment blurs, your creativity fades, your confidence weakens, your spirit grows tired. You move through life in survival mode, reacting instead of creating, defending instead of becoming. People make your life heavier, not because they are evil, but because they are not aligned with your growth. Their love came with confusion, doubt, or emotional hunger, and you kept giving yourself in pieces, but people who drain you cannot teach you how to be full. They cannot nurture the parts of you they do not understand. It is the moment you decide that your emotional health matters, that your heart deserves gentleness, that your soul deserves rest, and that your mind deserves clarity. It is the moment you return to yourself after years of pouring into places that never poured back. Release the routines that keep you stagnant, the patterns that repeat the same pain. The fear that holds you in familiar misery. Freedom is waiting just beyond your courage. By releasing what drains you, what is meant for you will meet you with clarity, not confusion, with effort, not excuses, with truth, not manipulation, with peace, not chaos. Release so you can breathe. Release so you can think clearly. Release so you can sleep without heaviness. Rediscover your joy. Rebuild your strength. Remember what it feels like to be yourself, unburdened, unharmed, unshaken. Letting go may hurt, but holding on will destroy you slowly. You deserve ease, softness, people who make your spirit feel at home. You deserve a life that fits the size of your soul. Release what drains your peace. Letting go is not a rejection, it is a surrender to truth, to growth, to what your soul already knows, even when your mind resists. When you let go, you are not abandoning your story. You are simply turning the page. You are making room for something greater. You cannot move forward while staring backward. Healing requires release, choosing yourself over what harmed you. It requires trusting that life has a way of restoring what was lost, but only after you create the space for it. When you let go, you allow your heart to exhale. You allow your emotions to settle. Permission to feel without drowning, grieve without staying broken, to rest without guilt. They always were. Blessings, they arrive in the silence you once feared, the emptiness you once misunderstood. They arrive in the space you create when you decide your future matters more than your comfort zone. Letting go is the doorway to new beginnings. It is the quiet whisper that says, you deserve more. The moment you choose growth over familiarity, self-worth over attachment, faith over fear. The universe responds to that choice. It rearranges what is meant for you. It aligns new paths, new people, new moments that nourish your soul. Understand this, letting go is a process, not a one-time decision. Some days you will feel strong. Some days you will feel lost. Healing does not erase history, it transforms it. Some days you will want to return to what was familiar because moving forward feels overwhelming. Every time you choose release over resistance, faith over fear, your peace over your past, you take another step toward the life you are meant to live. Letting go teaches you trust. Trust in yourself, trust in timing, trust in life's mysterious way of unfolding exactly as it should. Even when things fall apart, people leave, chapters close. Trust that something greater is forming. Letting go teaches gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons, for the strength you gained, for the heart you recovered, for the wisdom you earned through the pain you survived. You begin to see not everything lost was meant to stay. Not everything broken was meant to be repaired. Not everything painful was meant to destroy you. Freedom from guilt, fear, old wounds, emotional hunger. Freedom to grow, rise, begin again. Welcome blessings that match your spirit. Letting go creates the space your soul has been praying for. Space to breathe deeply, see clearly, heal fully. The space to step into the life waiting for you on the other side of fear. Letting go is not the end. It is the beginning. Acceptance is something we arrive at after fighting battles that exhaust our spirit. It is the moment when the mind stops wrestling with what it cannot change and begins to breathe again. Acceptance allows you to reclaim your energy. The energy tied up in resistance becomes free. Peace isn't found in forcing life to match your expectations. It's found in allowing life to unfold as it must. And in that understanding, something in you softens. Acceptance doesn't ask you to forget. It doesn't ask you to pretend nothing happened. It simply asks you to stop fighting a battle already decided. There is power in saying, "It is what it is, and I will no longer let it break me." That statement is not defeat. It is liberation. It is when you rise above circumstances, not by controlling them. People are who they show you they are. When you accept that truth, you stop shrinking yourself to make anything fit. You reclaim the energy you lost, trying to be enough for situations never meant to hold you. There is something sacred in that reclamation. When you stop pouring your spirit into the wrong places, you rediscover all the parts of yourself you neglected. You choose the life you deserve instead of settling for the one that disappointed you. Acceptance is not passive. It requires courage to face reality, strength to release expectations, and faith that what is lost will be replaced with something better. It takes maturity to say, "This situation may have hurt me, but it will not control me." When you make that choice, you reclaim authority over your life. You stop negotiating peace with people who benefit from your confusion. You stop sacrificing well-being for situations that refuse to meet you halfway. You reclaim the energy you were wasting trying to change it. You reclaim the nights lost to overthinking, the days lost to hoping, the pieces of yourself you lost to people who did not know how to hold them. You reclaim your future from the grip of your past. You reclaim your worth from those who couldn't see it. You reclaim your power by recognizing not everything is your responsibility. When that energy returns, you rise. You nourish yourself in ways you once neglected, listening to the whisper of your intuition, which tells you what is no longer aligned with your spirit. Acceptance creates space for clarity, and clarity for growth. You see things as they are, not as fear painted them, not as hope tried to make them, but as wisdom understands them. This clarity allows you to choose yourself again, not the version that begged for closure, not the version that settled for less, not the version that carried everyone else's weight, but the version that knows her worth, power, strength, resilience. Acceptance guides you back to that version. It reminds you your energy is sacred, your boundaries necessary, and your peace priceless. Every time you choose acceptance over resistance, you choose yourself. You choose freedom, but the truth is far more tender, courageous, and transformative. True strength comes from surrendering what harms you and rising from it. It comes from recognizing when something is taking more from your spirit than it is giving to your growth, and having the wisdom to release it even when your heart aches. Strength is not measured by how tightly you can grip what's hurting you. Strength is measured by how bravely you can let it go. Surrender is not to give up. It is not to lose. It is not to accept defeat. Surrender is the quiet, powerful act of choosing your well-being over your wounds, peace over pride, growth over grief. They think strength comes from endurance alone, from proving their loyalty to people or stories that have already shown their truth. But endurance without boundaries is not strength. It's self-abandonment. Forgetting your heart is not a battlefield where you must fight to earn love or peace. Your soul deserves gentleness, not constant warfare. When you surrender what harms you, you reclaim your right to heal. The parts of yourself lost in the noise of trying to make something work that was never meant to stay. You reclaim the quiet wisdom of your intuition, which has been whispering all along. This is hurting you. You deserve better. But we ignore that whisper, thinking strength is holding on. Yet the heart knows true strength is listening. There are people whose presence dims your light, whose words chip away at your confidence. If something harms your peace, self-worth, joy, or spirit, surrendering is an act of courage. Surrender is a slow unfolding, a gradual awakening, a soft but powerful shift within your heart. It begins the moment you realize that holding on is costing you more than letting go ever will. It is the journey of rebuilding your identity after pieces of yourself were lost, relearning your strength after forgetting how powerful you are, rediscovering your worth step by step, breath by breath. Rising is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet, steady, private. Sometimes rising means resting, crying, starting again, even when you don't feel ready. Your rise does not have to look like resilience in its traditional form. It does not have to look like perfection or immediate confidence. Rising means refusing to stay where you were broken. You reclaim the truth that your spirit is stronger than anything that tried to diminish it. You rise differently each time, stronger, wiser, softer, more aware, more grounded, more aligned with who you truly are. Surrender teaches you that not everything or everyone is meant to stay. The beauty of surrender is that it clears the path for blessings you could not receive while your hands were full of pain. The beauty of rising is that it allows you to meet those blessings with open arms, with clarity, with strength, with a heart unburdened. But just because surrender leads to growth does not mean it is without grief. You will miss things that were not good for you. You will long for memories from painful sources. You will question your decisions. You will feel doubt, wondering if you made the right choice. This is natural. This is human. Healing is not linear. Growth is not smooth. Strength is not always loud. But trust this, anything you release that harmed you was never meant to stay. In quiet moments after surrender, you will feel something shift inside you. A lightness, clarity, a sense of returning to yourself after being lost. That is your rise, your rebirth, your heart remembering its power. And when you rise, you do not rise as the same person who surrendered. You rise as the person you were meant to become. When you release what you cannot change, you return to your power. You step back into your life. You reclaim the peace waiting for you all along. And you rise, not because everything around you has changed, but because you have.